Hey everybody, Podgy here. So, yesterday Overwatch got a new patch on the PTR, and as an Ana main, I was a little bit concerned about it. I can say right now, I'm not going to be talking about the other changes. I like the other changes, and that's really all you gotta know. But I'm going to be focusing on Ana's changes in this video. I've been posting a lot on the forums lately. Like if you have seen me, then yeah, you probably have seen me saying a lot of the things that are in this video, or you've seen my massive thread where I broke down everything that I will essentially be talking about here. I'll put a link to that post in the doobly-doo, and yeah. But for those who don't follow the forums and don't follow any YouTube channels relating to Overwatch, like your Overwatch, Overwatch Central, or any other things, I'm going to quickly just go over the PTR changes for Ana right now. So for her biotic rifle, the damage per shot is decreased from 80 to 60, and the biotic grenade's impact damage is reduced from 60 to 30, and impact healing is reduced from 100 to 50. Now before I go into actual specifics about those changes, I'm going to talk a bit about a lot of the things relating to Ana, how we got to this point, and eventually lead to the point of why these nerfs are a little too extreme. So after a couple of days on the forums, I see a lot of people, mostly mid-skilled players, that are looking at this and saying, yes, it's perfect, Ana's gonna be out of the meta, it's time for me on Mercy or Zenyatta or Lucio to come out and be the top guy now. Ana's had it good for too long, blah 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 blah, whatever. And some of them have brought up some good points, but I want to give a Grandmaster perspective on all of this and talk about the original intentions of Ana and how they have played in the meta. So in terms of the devs' intentions, when Ana was released, Jeff Kaplan in his video literally said that Ana was a hero added to the game to be a high skill ceiling hero that gave support mains another option to play with other than Zen, Lucio, Mercy, as well as give people who were drawn towards precision heroes and wanted a chance to have that precision but still be able to play a support role, because as of then the only thing that you would have in terms of precision was Zenyatta, and Zenyatta was a damage hero, or a damage support, not really a high-level heal support. And what we found is that if you look at a lot of graphs relating to pick rate, in the lower ranks, like bronze, silver, gold, Ana was picked a lot lower than, say, Mercy. And around Platinum, it started to even out a bit, and as you got towards Master Grandmaster, Mercy was going down, and Ana was going up. This is because Mercy is a lower skill cap healer, but she could still get all those massive heals out. Ana, on the other hand, Ana being the high skill level healer that she is, found a lot more gameplay, so it made sense. So when Ana was first released, as we remember, she wasn't originally used. People had a lot of issues figuring out how to effectively use her kit and wondered why Zenyatta Lucio wasn't the smarter choice. Even when she was released, you could still watch professional matches where teams would try to use Ana, but they would be destroyed by Zen Lucio because they just had no idea how to fit her into the meta. But once they figured out her healing potential, that's when triple tank started to become a thing, and quad tank even. And I remember playing competitively for the first time around when that happened, and I was actually going to be a DPS main, because I loved Tracer, I loved McCree, all that stuff, and then I saw the potential of Ana, and because she kind of fit that target audience of a precision lover who wanted to play support, because I did have that mindset of a support player, but still had the aim of someone who had precision, I eventually learned her and her kit and started climbing through the ranks. In a month I went from Platinum to Grandmaster. Now during all of this time, I was well aware of how overpowered her biotic grenade was, and in hindsight, 5 seconds of amp healing that was double your healing was insane. On top of that, 5 seconds of your enemy being anti-healed, that was also insane. Like, I understand why people were so upset about Ana. And so when Ana's grenade got nerfed in the PTR that first time with the 50% reduction, when I played it, I immediately felt it, but I also understood why it was happening, and it was a very good reasoning behind it. And it wasn't like it killed Ana either. All it did was basically kill triple tank and quad tank being the best meta out there. With that, in both matchmaking and the pro scene, you found less triple tank and more 2-2-2, more squad comps, more dive comps, and just everything, like anything that wasn't triple tank, it became viable, and it would fight triple tanks and win when played correctly. I mean, also Hook 2.0 also helped with this, but Ana's healing, not being able to heal 3 tanks that are at under 100 HP back to full health in under 2 seconds was a big deal with this. Now, going off that, Reinhardts and Roadhogs weren't able to play in stupid positions. Ryans weren't able to charge in and expect me to heal them back to full health in a 1v6. I basically had to, during that first week of it being live, tell Ryans to stop doing that because I can't heal them anymore. And now because of this, tanks were forced to play smarter. Meanwhile, DPS players actually got more value, and more DPS players were able to play rather than forced onto tank or support. And then Ana wasn't like an absolute must pick. Like, she was still a very good pick, but she didn't need to be picked. Now, with those Ana changes, and then also the Mercy change from the recent patch where she is invulnerable during her res, I feel like supports right now are in a very good spot. You have different supports being able to do different things. For example, Zenyatta has a higher damage output with a lower than average healing that is focused on a single target at a time, and while he doesn't have any movement capabilities, most of his health is shields, which can regen, and then his ult gives him invulnerability. Lucio has pretty decent damage that he can spam. His area of effect for healing and speed is great, so that he can heal everybody. He just can't heal everybody quickly, so he still gets a lot of healing out. And with that speed, he's able to speed out of bad situations. He's got a self-heal capability with his healing, and then his ult, his sound barrier, applies to himself as well. Mercy, although she barely does any damage, she has some of the best healing in this game right now on a single target and can damage amp. She has a passive health regen and a high mobility ability to get her out of bad situations, and then, like in the new patch, she can go invulnerable while ulting. And right now, Ana has to pick between either having decent damage or great healing. If she starts damaging too much, her teammate starts dying. And if she focuses specifically on healing, that's fine, but she also could be missing out on catching a healer or a flanker out of position and getting a relatively easy kill. Now, even though she has great healing, she has to generally focus on one target at a time. Even with amp healing, like if you have, say, a Rhine and a Roadhog in a fight, if you amp heal them both and try to split your healing between the two, chances are they're probably going to both die. You have to generally focus on one person and leave the other for dead, hoping that the other tank that you're keeping alive can damage enough to keep both of your tanks alive, if that makes sense. And on top of that, she doesn't have any passive health regen, but every 10 seconds she gets 100 HP if she chooses to throw it on herself, but she has no movement capability. And although she has no movement capability, she does have the sleep dart that is difficult to hit, but if she does end up hitting it, then she can either escape from the fight by leaving the person she slept down for 5 seconds, or punish that slept hero herself. And I want to touch on that a bit further, the whole sleep dart and 100 health regen thing. And this little blip goes specifically to the flankers of Overwatch. First off, if you are playing close enough to Ana that she can nade both herself and you, it's not her being overpowered, it's you doing something wrong. If you watch how flankers play at the top in professional play and or even just high-level Grandmaster play, you can see how successful they can be against an Ana playing properly. Secondly, the sleep dart. Everyone on the forum seems to think that the sleep dart is like a guaranteed hit. It's not. It has a really weird timing between you activating the sleep dart and it actually firing. It's a slow shot. It's not guaranteed that they're going to be asleep for the full 5 seconds because of spam damage from your team. And on top of that, it has a 12-second cooldown. And if an Ana is able to land consistent hits with it, then she should be rewarded for that, for taking the time to master their kit. And the damage that she has right now is that reward. If she's able to shoot you, which I know does a lot of damage, which I'll talk about later, but yeah, there needs to be a reward factor for hitting that sleep dart rather than you get to survive. Lastly, given that her rifle shots are projectiles, they're not actually easy to hit very well against high maneuvering targets, like specifically flankers. And her hit scan capabilities only come when she's scoped. Now, unless an Ana has great crosshair placement and is able to quickscope, and by that point she does deserve the reward of hitting you like that, because quickscoping is not actually super easy, then they will be sitting ducks when they try to snipe you from down the scope. I can agree that a damage nerf may be warranted, but I'll get to that soon. Now, my actual thoughts on the specific changes to the PTR. My quick answer is that they are too severe. When I first saw the changes, I honestly thought that there was like a mix-up with Blizzard, where they listed a bunch of things that they were going to decide like to pick one to nerf on Ana, and that they accidentally posted them all. But no, that's not what they did. Now, with the biotic rifle, while I can see why this damage nerf was done, I think giving the enemy more free reign to play out of position actually hurts the game. Ana's damage is for protecting herself, as well as like catching enemies like a Pharah who's flying for too long and too freely, or an enemy healer wandering from the pack, or just to help supplement the damage in general of her team. While I understand that a nerf is necessary, I think a 25% reduction in damage is way too much. And I can already hear McCree main saying, but this will balance out Ana versus McCree. Well, let's be honest. If you think that a revolver from range should do the same amount as a sniper rifle, then you gotta wake up and hit your headshots, okay? Like, I've been seeing all these things about McCree's getting out damaged by Anas on the forums. It's dumb. You're up against a sniper when you're a gunslinger. Just stop. It's a stupid argument. Just stop. Now, Ana's biotic grenade. I'm in full support of the impact damage reduction from 60 to 30. I can see why it's necessary, and it will give flankers who are still learning a 30 health leeway compared to now. The impact healing reduction is the issue. While I see the game benefits of only healing teammates by 50 HP on impact, the survivability of Ana needs to be put into question. I understand that this change is to attempt to force a 2-support team composition on every occasion, but what you're actually going to find is that the second support is really there to support Ana to keep her alive so that she can do the full healing. So what you're probably going to see is a Harmony Orb constantly on Ana, and then Zenyatta playing as a DPS while Ana's doing all of the healing. Now here's my compromise. I get what Blizzard's trying to do, but I think they're overdoing it. Kind of like how they gave Bastion in the new patch too much survivability and then had to chime it back a bit. Making slight adjustments over time will have a better effect on the game rather than making drastic changes and being forced to revert the changes due to the backlash. Luckily, this has just been in the PTR yet and not live, and I hope that Blizzard sees things like my video and the posts on the forums and recognize that what they're doing is too much. Now, here are my specific changes. The biotic rifle damage should be reduced from 80 to 70. With this, Ana will still be able to 3-shot 200 HP players, but Tracer will also be forced to be 3-shot because now she's hitting 70 damage shots, and that only does 140 damage rather than 160. And with this Pharahs just need a Harmony Orb on them for a second, and they're already fine. They need to be 4-shot at that point. With the Biotic Grenade, the impact damage will stay from 60 to 30, and then I have two options where I'd say that the impact healing for the team should be reduced from 100 to 50. This is not applying to her self-healing, which would stay at 100, or impact healing would be reduced from across the board, team and self, from 100 to 75. Ana needs that self-sustain right now because she has no kind of shield regeneration capability or passive heal rate. Now to sum it up, I can see why these changes are happening. I just hope that they are brought back a little bit. I've been looking extensively into Ana lately, of how she came into the game as intended, how they fixed her a bit, and I just really want Blizzard to make the right changes for the right reasons. Now hopefully this video gives good insight, and lower level players can potentially understand the nuances of Ana a bit more. If you see these PTR changes go live as is, or as my changes, for example, she will still have a nerf, and either way you are going to get a reduce in Ana play. I just don't want to see Ana completely gone, because I think skill heroes need to be rewarded in this game, and what I'm seeing lately is a trend in Blizzard of hurting heroes that have a higher skill ceiling while buffing up heroes that have a low skill ceiling. And honestly, that will just make the game really, really bland. High skill should come with high reward. And while Ana's rewards were too large at a time, I feel like they're in a really good spot right now and just need minor tweaks just to fix that. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give a like if you did. Subscribe for more. Be sure to check out my other videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. 1, 2, 3.